Okay. Good evening, everybody. I hope that we're live right now, and I hope we're going. We'll call the meeting to order. Can I have the salute to the flag, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we get a roll call, please?
Mr. Both?
You got to unmute, Keith. Unmute.
Mrs. Boyle?
Here.
Mr. Farinella?
Here.
Mrs. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Panisi?
Here.
Mr. Sesselberg?
Here.
Mrs. Wolak?
Here.
Mr. Cassio?
Here.
Mr. Chapman?
Here.
Thank you.
Okay. In accordance with the terms of the Sunshine Law, adequate notice of this meeting was posted in all school buildings, the administration building, the borough clerk's office, police headquarters, public library, 4 newspapers, and WCTC on January 9th, 2020. Please be advised, there's no smoking on school grounds, inside or out at any time. Please silence all electronic devices. And pursuant to District Policy 0167, each statement made by a participant shall be limited to 3 minutes duration, and no participant shall speak more than once on the same topic. Can we have this at this point, we're going to go into executive session to discuss personnel and legal matters. Can I get a motion?
Motion. Have them unmute.
Second.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Okay. Do we need a roll call on that? No, right? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. We will be back in approximately 15 minutes, folks. Okay, call the meeting back to session. Can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Both?
Here.
Mrs. Boyle?
Yes.
Mr. Farinella?
Here.
Mrs. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Panisi?
Here.
Mr. Sesselberg?
Here.
Mrs. Wolak?
Here.
Mr. Cassio?
Here.
Mr. Chapman?
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, moving right along. Can we go to the superintendent's report, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chapman. We are currently in the middle of week 4 for online teaching. Again, you're doing a great job, students, faculty, and parents. Everything that we have to do, I'm only hearing great things. So I just want to let you know that we're in week 4 and you're doing a great job. I just want to acknowledge that. I'd like to say thank you to all of the community who came out to support United We Roared. It was a wonderful event. We had such large participation, and I heard about it for days and days after. So I just want to say thank you. I wanted to say thank you to Sports World, who did the shirts for us, and we will be accepting on the agenda tonight $5,095 from the sale of the T-shirts, so that we can help our community in South Plainfield, our businesses that are suffering, and help our needy families. So it's the community helping the community. So thank you for that amazing job. I'd like to transition by bringing up that we are also doing another community event, which is open until this evening. It's the Wall of Heroes. So if you have somebody in your family or somebody close to you who lives in South Plainfield who is working a job where they're considered an essential worker and they're still out there and they're on our front lines and they're helping to make our lives easier, our police, fire, doctors, nurses, custodians, grocery workers, pharmacy, anybody who's out there working, our postal workers, anybody that I'm leaving out, if you're an essential worker, please take the time to go onto our website, upload a picture of that person and tell us who they are, what their job is. Also, if you're in a school, what school that you're attending, so we can make a special presentation for them that we'll put on our website. We'll put it on Facebook, and we're going to share with the borough. So it's just one way that we can say thank you. We're also doing something tomorrow evening. It's hats off to our South Plainfield heroes. So what we're doing there is we're asking at 6:30 tomorrow night, we're asking that the community step outside like they did for the United We Roar, step outside and take their hat off in appreciation to our frontline workers again, just to say thank you for all they're doing. They're out there on the front lines. They're making our lives a little bit easier. They're putting themselves at risk to make sure that we have everything that we need, to make sure that our hospitals are running, that our streets are safe, just that we're doing everything, making sure that our schools are completely deep clean. They're just everything, making sure you're getting your mail. So we just want to do that. And then we're asking you, if you do that, if you're able to join us and do that, if you would please videotape yourself doing that, and we will put a video together just as a special thank you to our frontline heroes. So again, tomorrow night is hats off to our South Plainfield heroes. We're asking you to upload a video. And if you can, by midnight tonight, it's been open since last Friday, send in a still picture of a special South Plainfield hero that you would like to have us acknowledge on our tribute wall of heroes. So if you could do that, that would be great. We'd love you to do that. I have a couple things on here, so give me a few. Governor Murphy did have a press conference today. As you know, he went ahead and he closed all of the county parks and the state parks. And he has also noted that at this point, the schools are closed indefinitely, and that he will be the one that reopens the school. So at this point, we have no additional guidance for when the schools will be open, but they are closed indefinitely. But you can take the fact that the parks are now closed until May 9th as an indication of where we're going. So at this point, they're closed indefinitely, but the parks are closed. He's given the date of May 9th, so use that as a guideline for what we're doing. Please note that our playground equipment is closed and is wrapped. We're asking that you please adhere to these rules. We are going along with the recommendation from the county to make sure that our playground equipment was closed, so that we wouldn't have anybody climbing on it and the possibility of spreading germs. Also, if it is at all possible for you, please adhere as the best of your ability to social distancing, which means you really should not be gathering, whether it's in any of the, they're saying the county parks, but even in our open space areas, please make sure that you adhere to the social distancing and stay as far, home if you can, stay home if you can. But if you have to be out, make sure that you're following those rules. A reminder that spring break begins this Friday, April 10th, and we will not return again until Monday, April 20th. So your children do not need to log on from Friday, April 10th, and they will return to school at 9 a.m. on the 20th so that we can, again, resume our online instruction. So make sure you have that in your calendars. During spring break, there will be no meal service. So just so that you know, next Monday, there will not be a meal service, but when we return on April 20th, we will again begin to distribute our meals at the administration building beginning at 5 p.m. So, we'll make sure that we're there for you. While we're out on spring break, although we are a little bit behind because this came up and we've been trying to do as much as we can in terms of getting you information on COVID-19, we are going to start uploading the workshops that we already had planned for you from Parentpalooza based on the surveys that we had. So during spring break, we are going to start putting up some of those workshops that we already had put together for you. They deal with, some are from guidance, some are from curriculum, some are from the health field. So if you get a chance and you're home during your spring break and you want something to look at, they're all wonderful workshops. So please make sure that you take advantage of those workshops while they're up. Also, we will be sending out information over spring break in regards to some changes that we are going to make to the fourth marking period grades. So, and how we're going to handle that moving forward, since we're all online and we're waiting to see what the governor says in terms of anything to do with relaxing the 180 days. So over spring break, you are going to get a detailed email in regards to fourth marking period grades. And as a reminder, the report cards will be up for you to look at on Genesis. As you know, the third marking period ended on Friday the 3rd. So on April 23rd, right after spring break, the report cards will be up and ready for you to take a look at. So that will be there. Other than that, I think we're good, except for my weekly update that usually happens on Sunday. This week will happen on Saturday because this Sunday is coming. Next Sunday is Easter. Am I right? Yes, this Sunday
Yes.
is coming. It's Easter Sunday. So I will do my update on Saturday instead of Sunday because I know none of you want to miss it. So you got to make sure you tune in on Saturday. All right. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Wrong spot, Mike. All righty, so moving right along to agendas and or deletions, we're going to administratively remove under 8A number 2 for today. We will administratively remove that. Also want to let the public know that if you have a desire to make public comments and participate today, you would want to call into 908-754-4620, extension 1680. Again, that's 908-754-4620, extension 1680. All participants must state their name and their address prior to speaking today. So moving right along, can we go to personnel? Can I get a motion? Am I not being heard?
Motion.
Hear you.
Get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Both,
Keith, unmute. Yes.
Mrs. Boyle,
Yes.
Mr. Farinella,
Yes.
Mrs. Miller,
Yes.
yes. Mr. Panisi,
Yes.
Mr. Sesselberg,
Yes.
Mrs. Wolak,
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Cassio,
Yes.
Mr. Chapman.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, moving along to finance. Before we go on to making a motion, there's a resolution on here that I would like to read into the record for tonight. And it's a resolution opposing delay in transmission of quarterly property tax revenue to school districts. Whereas Assembly Bill 3902, currently pending in the state legislature, would authorize the Department of Community Affairs to permit municipalities to delay the quarterly transmission of property tax revenues to school districts during gubernatorial declared emergencies. And whereas New Jersey public schools are highly dependent on property tax revenue to support educational programs, and whereas on average, local property taxes constitute close to 60% of public school revenue, with the percentage even greater in a significant number of districts. And whereas a delay in payments from municipalities would result in a financial crisis for school districts, seriously disrupting the educational process and bringing it to a halt. And whereas although public school buildings are closed during the current health emergency, the education of our students is taking place through remote learning and home instruction. And whereas continued timely transmission of school property taxes is critical for the education process to continue without interruption. And whereas even though municipalities are designated as the authorities to collect property taxes, these taxes are levied for specific purposes: municipal, school, county, fire, district, and these obligations must be continued to be met. And whereas currently written A3902, which is intended to ease a financial burden on municipalities, would place a severe strain on school districts and the students and families that they serve. And whereas the South Plainfield Board of Education recognizes the impact of the current public health emergency on the state and local governments, as well as local school districts, but believes the legislation would worsen the situation for our communities. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the South Plainfield Board of Education urges the state Senate and the governor to oppose A3902, and be it further resolved that this resolution be delivered to Governor Phil Murphy, State Senate President Stephen Sweeney, Assembly Speaker Craig Coughlin, and the 18th Legislative District's representatives in the State and General Assembly. And be it further resolved that copies of this resolution be sent to the New Jersey School Boards Association. So, going back, can I get a motion on finance?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion.
Discussion.
Discussion, Mr. Cassio?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, Doug, thanks for staying on top of this, because this is definitely irresponsible of the state to try to even put us in this position. We're operating a business right now, as usual, and we're running the course here. So to suggest that they delay or withhold payment for us to operate as a business is completely irresponsible. So thank you for reading that tonight, and I hope the public understands what's going on here.
I think Mrs. Boyle?
Yes. I received this resolution 2 weeks ago because Legislation, Finance, and the Middlesex County School Board Executive Board continues to meet virtually. And I did reach out to the governor, Congressman Cologne, Senator Deignan, our assembly people, asking that this bill be either amended or not be voted on. And I believe that the Senate is going to ask for amendments to this. I understand that the municipality also is facing dilemmas, but this would, 60% of this would definitely hurt the school district, all the school districts all over the state of New Jersey. We're also asking that the NJEA join in the opposition to this bill.
Okay. Is that it, Mrs. Boyle? Done?
Yes.
Okay. Any other further discussion?
Me,
Mrs. Miller?
Doug. Alex, could you give us a little bit of an example of how this is going to hurt our district? I mean, are we looking at possibly not being able to pay salaries, et cetera? I mean, this could really have a big effect on our district.
Yes, the large majority of our revenue comes from the taxpayers. I think it's even a little more than 60% too. So we would have to come up with some creative ways to continue paying everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? No? Okay, can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Both,
Yes.
Mrs. Boyle,
Yes.
Mr. Farinella,
Yes.
Mrs. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Panisi,
Yes.
Mr. Sesselberg,
Yes.
Mrs. Wolak,
Yes.
Mr. Cassio,
Yes.
Mr. Chapman.
Yes. Okay, moving along to the committee reports. Buildings and Ground Committee, we met today. In attendance was Mr. Cassio, Mr. Sesselberg, Mr. Both, myself, Mr. Yaziki, Mr. Benanti, Dr. Leshak, and Mr. Wiggins. And what we discussed today was the painting that was going on in the middle school. The painters have decided to stop working because of their concerns regarding the COVID-19 virus. So about 70% of the classrooms are already done. So, you know, they've made significant progress. And then once this has passed and they feel comfortable getting back to work, they'll be back into the middle school to finish that job up. There's flooring work going on with some abatements going on throughout the district. We took advantage of this opportunity to take care of some situations in the high school gym that were very difficult for us to do because of the athletic teams and the usage of the gym that they have. So this was, the contractor was very, willing to get in there and do some work. So that's good. The second floor of the high school is being redone as we spoke, the flooring in there as well right now. So these were going to be summertime jobs, but they're being done now. So that's good. The first floor of the high school is in next year's budget. So that can't be done now. So that'll start in July. The windows, there's windows being put in right now in Riley, Grant, and Franklin gymnasiums, and vents that are underneath there. They're replacing the vents that are there as well. On May 1st, and from what we understand, we're still on schedule for accepting delivery of the windows for the remainder of the schools for those jobs that are going to get done over the summertime. And I believe that the contractor has said that once we get the windows, if we give them the all clear to go ahead and start working as soon as possible, they will. The Riley roof is scheduled for July 1st. That's in next year's budget. We've got some LED lighting that's been being put in throughout all the school district. Our own guys are doing the work there, and they're doing a fantastic job. Next week, the middle school irrigation system is going to be basically overhauled, some of it replaced. It's going to be like a brand new irrigation system out there. They're overseeding the fields. And basically, Mr. Wiggins said that while this is a terribly unfortunate circumstance that we're in right now, his guys have been able to get a heck of a lot of work done. And Tom and Alex have both said that, as we've spoken about several times, is that our workers are doing a great job, and they're really, working very hard and doing, fabulous work. So, kudos out to them. So that's basically it for buildings and grounds. Moving along to curriculum. Mr.
Question
Panisi?
with, oh, wait.
Oh, go ahead.
I think I
Go ahead,
just
Sharon.
muted myself. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
No, I think it's a great job, great time that we're starting to do some of the summer work. But I know we deep cleaned all the buildings when this Corona thing came about, locked them all up. Now that there are people in the buildings again, I'm assuming that we will deep clean the buildings again once the work is completed. That's number one. And number two is, can we, as a board, get a list of all the projects that are being planned throughout the district between now and through the summer?
Sure. Yep, Alex, there's no problem with that, right?
No, I can send out a list of stuff that's going on after the meeting.
Okay, thanks, Alex. And we'll be deep cleaning again, right?
Oh, yeah.
Once it's all done, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, any other discussion on the B&G? Okay, moving along to curriculum, Mr. Panisi?
Sorry, I can't help with that yet, but I'm always learning.
What?
Someone's got 30. 30
My
in the
Google
queue.
Who was
Home.
that?
My
Who was
Google
that?
Home
Who was
said
that?
she cannot help with Mr. Panisi right now, but she's always learning.
Okay, the committee
Alexa.
met April 1st. Present were myself, Keith Both, Tom Cassio, and Mary Meliska. The agenda, we did some follow-up from past meetings, talked about students receiving targeted lessons about social media safety and usage. The elementary report card committee is meeting tomorrow to further discussion on the grades in elementary school as far as the cutoff grade. And the NJSLA science report data presentations at the 22nd regular board meeting as per state requirements. So that's, I guess, our next meeting. And Mary will be doing a presentation. We can mute her too, right? We want to. So.
Mary, how many slides? How many slides, Mary?
I think just
85.
Right?
85 slides.
2 slides,
85.
Theo.
Right, and we talked about the implementation of the curriculum during this time, and there's resources that are available for teachers to assist with the planning. There's support for them. The specialists, the curriculum area specialists are calling and attending meetings. Faculty meetings are happening as we go along. And there's also virtual scheduled 9 to 1 for the students and for the teachers. Pretty impressed because I think Mary mentioned that we had like only about 40 students who didn't sign on at one point one day, and that attendance I think is probably better than our regular daily attendance. But that's it's just amazing what's being done here. Online learning portal is on the district website. The community and virtual learning resources are available for everyone. New Jersey performance reports are posted on the district main page and school pages. They're released annually by the BOE. This summer, there's still going to be curriculum writing planned. It's going to go on. Summer programming is moving forward as scheduled as far as postings, for teachers and also for enrollment. And hopefully we do have it. It'd be a good thing if we have it. And marking period. Fourth marking period grading. Administration discussions are being discussed about grading for the fourth marking period, and Dr. Leshak will share a little bit about that piece because I know they were still meeting this week. And that is it.
Any discussion?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Panisi. Any discussion? No? Okay, moving along to finance. Mr. Cassio?
Yes, sir. Finance Committee met today, April 7th. Mr. Benante, myself, Mr. Chapman, Mr. Both. Mr. Panisi, Mr. Yaziki, and Dr. Leshak were in attendance. We talked about a few things. First thing was the Pritchard renewal. We have in the contract a 1 year renewal option with a 1.9% increase. We're looking to enforce that and bring that forward. We'll put it out the bid next year. Aramark, we talked about. Obviously, they're not making any revenue while we're out, and they're losing with the giving out the food the last month or so. They're going to be looking to be receiving a state waiver to offset the guarantee. And we'll get some more numbers as time goes on, but right now we understand their predicament. The insurance renewals, Alex is working on those. We don't have any definite numbers yet. The budget is possibly being approved tomorrow, so Alex is waiting to hear from the state. We talked about source for teachers. Obviously, it's a continuing issue across the state. Everybody's having problems. Again, we talked about having our own little, private list that's in our contract. We can try to retain these teachers, these substitute teachers for our district. We talked about professional services, the RFPs, possibly putting those out for next year. That would include architect, lawyer, auditor, and broker. And lastly, we talked about Alex had just gotten an option to renew the transportation maintenance contract, and looks like a 0% increase over the next 3 years. So that's something he's working on to discuss to renew. Also, Mr. Chapman, I know last week he had a conference call with Senator Dygnan regarding our state aid, our school aid, and the special aid. I know this is an ongoing issue with us. Kind of went over the same thing that we've been hearing over the last year, but he did offer, once this COVID pandemic is resolved or we get through this whole, he offered to set up a meeting with Dr. Leshak, Mr. Chapman, myself, and the Department of Education Commissioner, so we can further discuss this topic. Other than that, that's it.
Any discussion on finance? Okay, moving along. Policy.
Nothing to report.
Okay, public relations, nothing to report. Shared services.
A couple things. A few things that's been going on over the last time we met, I believe. Number one was I know that the pool project's going on, and a few times we've shared our electrician from the district with the borough to get some small projects done. So it helped them speed up their process, and they thanked us for that. I also know that the police department reached out to Dr. Leshak, the OEM department, Sergeant Bourne and Chief Parker. And I know that Mr. Wiggins and Dr. Leshak put together some product to donate, whether it was gowns, masks, gloves, cleaning equipment. I know they helped let them borrow our disinfectant guns. They had some issues in the borough with some officers having gotten sick. So we want to make sure that they're up and running and protecting our borough. So thank you, Dr. Leshak, for working with them and getting that done.
I have to say
also,
thank you for
we
that
loaned
for
our.
this police department. I just
No,
wanted to
these
say
guys are
thank
doing a
you.
great
Listen,
job. They're working.
I'm sorry, I keep stepping. I just wanted to say whatever the borough needs, because they're out there keeping us safe. So we're all one family here. So thank you to them.
No, that's great. And I know they're working on split shifts so they don't cross-contaminate. So they're trying to stay healthy and keep us safe. Also, I know that we loaned them our janitorial service employees for a few weeks to clean the
We
borough.
actually didn't. We didn't need to do that. So
We didn't do
were
that.
all right with
Okay.
But whatever
Okay.
they need, we'll help them out with.
Perfect. Lastly, I know that Dr. Leshak, we had mentioned trying to do something for Easter, and it's great to see that we discussed with Mr. Benzvanga trying to do something with the Easter Bunny. We had tried to do something with some candy, throwing candy to the kids in the driveways and whatnot. That didn't work out, and for obvious reasons. But at least they were able to implement putting the Easter Bunny on a fire truck, and they'll be going around Saturday to see the children. So at least they give them something to look forward to. So that's great. Other than that, that's it. Thank you.
Great job. Thanks, Tommy. Special education. I'm sorry. Any discussion on shared services? Special Education Committee?
Nothing to report.
All right. Traffic Liaison?
Nothing to report.
CPAC Liaison?
Really nothing to report. They're in hiatus, just like the rest of us are, bunkered down. But they did reach out to one of our behavioralists to try to help out some of our parents that are dealing with their children now being home all day. And a very interesting and well-written a post was put on Facebook for a lot of the parents, just talking about how to deal with the children that might have ADHD, how to be more patient, and basically what our teachers and what our staff does on a daily basis to hopefully help these parents out, because they're getting to deal with these children on a daily basis now, like our staff gets to do.
Mr. Both, if you don't mind saying, Mr. Brandon, let us know. We are having a workshop for special education parents and anybody who would like to take part in it. And it is from Dr. Selbist from the Behavioral Therapist Associates for this particular topic on how to deal with your special education student while they're home, maybe dealing with any behaviors that they're exhibiting and the anxiety that they're feeling and the whole change of venue of how they're being taught. So that is going to happen. We're doing it immediately once we return from spring break. And that's on the website and on Facebook. Okay.
Yep. Anything else, Keith? Mr. Both, anything else? No? Any discussion?
Discussion.
No?
The date. Oh,
Go ahead. Sorry.
no, the date that Dr. Salvis is going to introduce the program. Can we know what that date is and how to?
He was, I'm sorry, Mr. Brandon had said he reached out to him. We've made arrangements for him to do the presentation. We're not sure. It's going to be one of the days in the week following when we come back. So the week of the 20th. So we'll let you know as soon as that's up, and it'll be up on our website. It'll be up on Facebook. We'll make sure that it goes out through Mr. Brandon's listserv in his department as well. So we'll get it out there as to everybody we possibly can.
Okay, thanks.
Any further discussion?
No.
All right. Legislative Liaison, Mrs. Boyle.
Okay, Congress is in recess until April 20th. There is a fourth emergency bill that is being requested, which focuses on expanding unemployment benefits and also support for the healthcare and support for the state and local governments. S2273 is a bill in regards to the state employees health benefits plan. Special education, that was discussed. There is no specific guidelines for virtual therapy, except for speech therapy. There is like no physical therapy. It would put the person at risk that would go to the house to work on the physical therapy. Again, IEPs, I think that is coming up for review with the team, and the parents are a part of that team. So they should also be consulted. The budget is being delayed by the state until September, the state budget. Tourism in the state of New Jersey is also going to be affected and affecting the budget. All documents to do with any of these bills has to be given to everybody. Also, what what does, including in our budget, the BA and the superintendent, how does that affect them by the state? Also, May 15th, the governor is supposed to give out an executive order with regards to non-renewals. That's the date that all those notifications have to be given out for employees. Also, if people have questions, they're supposed to go to the county superintendent with regards to any of these implementations by the governor. And thank you to John Burns and Mike Ranchak for the podcast on legislation. And that is it. That's
Any
it.
discussion? Thank you, Mrs. Boyle. Any discussion? No? Okay. We want to get, Mrs. Miller would like to give a county update. Mrs. Miller, please.
Yeah, of course, we talked about the resolution that we just made tonight. They were really pushing for us to put that resolution through. Basically, nothing has changed with the school budget timeframe. The teacher and super evaluations, so far, nothing has been really decided about those. So the timeline is still the same so far. Special ed, and a lot of districts had questions on how to adhere to the IEPs. And a lot of districts, as we are doing services virtually, but not all services are going to be able to be met. And what they really told us is that these students' routines have really been disrupted quite severely, and how that is affecting them. And when school finally goes back into a session and they return to school, how that's still going to affect them, and that these kids really have to be closely monitored and really paid attention to, because this is really a hard time for them. The delegate assembly, which was supposed to be held in May, has been postponed to June 27th. It will be done virtually. However, school boards is having a really difficult time arranging this. There's electronic voting that has to be done. People have to be given a chance to speak, and they're having a difficult time trying to arrange all this. There was also talk about Zoom, which we're using now, and everybody said you should have the premium version because the other versions, spammers have been hacking into meetings. So they just urged all districts to make sure that you do have the premium version. Some districts were saying that quite a few districts were saying that their administrators are still are looking in on virtual classrooms, and still doing observations and evaluations. Districts were giving examples of what some of, such as duty aides, what some of who may not have a specific job to do during this time period, what they can do to still keep them on the books and keep paying them. So there were some examples of that. Let's see. Oh, they just went in about all the districts that have already canceled proms, plays, concert, class trips, and a lot of them were trying to do virtual things. Virtual proms are being done. Kids have gone online and done part of their plays through YouTube. Same thing with concerts. Kids have either played their instruments or sung songs, like one song, virtually through YouTube or other avenues, just because they practiced so long for all of this. I know there was one school gave a shortened version of their play and all the kids did it from home the best they could. So I guess that's it. That's about it. Everybody's really just talking about, different things, how are other districts handling the situation.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Miller. Any discussion on that? Dr. Leshak?
I actually just wanted to say I did interview with the couple of seniors on Tiger TV yesterday, and I had conversation with Mr. Deal and the high school administration. We have committed to the class of 2020 that we will have a graduation ceremony for them, regardless of when it is. So if we're fortunate and go back during the school year, it'll be on the same night that it's planned. But if we have to have it in July, or we have it in August, or we do something where it's a weekend in October and whoever can come back, your high school graduation is a really big deal, and we will have a ceremony for them. So we've committed to that to make sure that's at least off their mind. We also had a conversation and let them know that we're working with the venue for the senior prom. We are going to try to move it to any day up until July 31st. So we're going to try to give them a prom. If enough students want to attend, we'll go out as far as July 31st to make sure that they get their prom if that's what they want. And also for the plays, we are also working with the directors of the plays. We're planning to do the same thing. They wanted to hold out to the very last minute to see if we came back, if they could possibly do the play. It doesn't look like that's going to happen, so we are planning on doing the same thing, allowing our students to, after working so hard, perform their songs or whatever it is that we're doing. We want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to show their talent because they did work so hard.
Great.
I have a question. Noreen, will we be trying to do something for them on June 19th, though, even if we virtually give them their diplomas? Because we have no idea when we're going to be able to actually have a physical ceremony for them.
I don't really know what we can do. I'll be honest with you, once we get through spring break, right now we're planning on having an actual graduation for them at whatever time the graduation is. They are talking about at the high school level, the administrative level, having, if we're still closed when it's time, would have been time for them to graduate, having a week of senior celebrations. So there'd be a week of celebrations for them leading up to it. But unfortunately, they'd have to be, virtual type of things if we're still in the same position. So we are trying to do as much as we can for them. I mean, my heart breaks that, it's their senior year and this is what's happening. And I feel terrible for our kids that are in the play and all of the athletes that don't get to play and everybody that works so hard to shine. And even you think the gold card picnic, they look forward to this. The kids look forward to all of these things, everything that was happening. So we're trying to do the best we can to make sure they don't miss out on any of these things.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion on that? Okay, moving along to board member comments. I'm going to kick it off first today. And, first thing is we have a big holiday week coming up here. And, we've got Passover and we've got Good Friday and we've got Easter. So I want to wish all the families, if you celebrate one of those holidays, a blessed day and that you have a, enjoy some time and hopefully, some peaceful time, during that in the midst of all this chaos that we're going through here. I want to compliment the district and the community on the roar. That was one of the most phenomenal things that I've ever been involved with. To be out on my front lawn with my family and hearing families from blocks and blocks away roar was just astronomical, and it really speaks to the core about who we are here. So I want to thank the all the administrators and everybody who was involved in putting that together. And I want to thank Sports World for their partnership with us in supporting us with the fundraiser for the T-shirts. I mean, I think we accepted over $5,000 from them on the agenda in the finance tonight, and that money I know is going to go in partnership with the community to help families in need to get gift cards for restaurants or what have you. So that was just really a phenomenal thing for them to do and for everybody in the community to do. So thank you to everybody who purchased the shirts and supported that event and who went out and actually did the roaring. That was a lot of fun. The other night, Grant School had family game night. It was a blast. The kids had a really good time on it. It was kind of at points of time controlled chaos, but it was really good to see the in our household at least, and I think there was like 100 households or so logged into it, which was really a fantastic event. So thank you to the teachers who organized that in Grant School. I don't think that Mr. Cerullo did, if I'm not mistaken. 2 of the teachers did. So thank you very, very much to them for doing that. It was really, fantastic. And I just want to, this sometimes is going to start to sound redundant, but there's times when redundancy is important. And to just throw a huge shout out to the teachers. This is as hard on them as it is on everybody else. I can't imagine how they could possibly come up with a way to be creative to teach online. These people are professional teachers. And with what they're great at, what they're really great at, is not just educating our children, but interacting with them. And on a one-on-one basis in the classroom, walking around, specifically in the elementaries. And the job that everybody in the district is raving about, that all of our teachers are doing, is just phenomenal. So, I want to let everybody know that we sincerely appreciate all the efforts. It is so recognized. And, I know everybody's tired, and we're going to, we got spring break coming up here. So, I wish I could tell you to go out and enjoy it and do something, but that's not the circumstance that we're in now. But I do want to let the, the teachers know that, and the administrators, that I think I'm speaking on behalf of the board, that we sincerely appreciate every single thing that you all are doing. Thank you so very, very much. All right, moving along. Board member comments. Who? Sharon. Okay, Mrs. Miller.
Okay. I would also like to, I know it's repetitive, but I'd like to also commend Dr. Leshak, the administrators, our teachers, and the rest of our staff for doing a great job in handling the education of our students during this difficult corona situation. Nobody could have foreseen this, and I think this district has done a wonderful job. Every single person has done a wonderful job of handling it. We're all trying to do the best that we can during this time, and so thank you. I also just want to tell everybody there's a supermoon tonight, in case you didn't know. So you could step out on your front porch, your backyard, and you can view it. The best time to view it, the time it'll be highest is about 12:21 in the morning, but you can also see it all night, I think until 7:10 tomorrow. It actually determines the date of Easter, and Easter is always the next Sunday after the supermoon. Also, the South Plainfield High School PTOO, unfortunately, I don't really want to have to announce this, but we more than likely will not have a project graduation. We've not been able to have our fundraiser, and being the situation with what it is, it's a very difficult thing. But we are going to, once again, be offering the graduates lawn signs. So hopefully that'll help a little bit. We'll be coming out with information about that after spring break. So please, everyone, stay healthy and safe, be kind, and care for one another during this difficult time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Miller. Any other board member comments?
I'd like to say something.
Mr. Cassio?
Hello, everyone. I just want to thank and kudos to everyone out there that's doing a great job. I know this is tough. The kids are doing a great job. I come downstairs getting ready to go to work, and I have my little one telling me, shh, I'm in class, Dad. And it's, they're really into this. Kids are into it. So, I give them credit. This has got to be hard on them. And I know, they're going to go and stir crazy. Parents going to stir crazy. Thank you for your cooperation. Teachers, admin team, Dr. Leshak, you guys doing a hell of a job. It's unprecedented. And I know, because I'm getting texts from all over this state, that South Plainfield is the poster child for getting through this COVID crisis. So, parents, hug your kids, give them a hug and a kiss, and let's get through this. Stick together, call your loved ones, make sure they're okay, and we'll get through this together. See you soon.
Okay. Mrs. Boyle?
Yes, I'd like to thank Mayor Nash with the continuous updates throughout the municipality and working with Dr. Leshak along with the council. Director of District Guidance, Sam Fiera, promoted a very good support video for parents during this time of uncharted territory. It was very interesting. I thought he did a great job. The Middlesex County School Boards Association, Ray Pinney and Bruce Young, thank you for our continued meetings and updates. Also, Vice President for Legislation, Elliot Stroll, continue to improve daily. Thank you to the South Plainfield Observer and Tap Into South Plainfield for your continuous updates that are daily. And to Darlene Cullen for being positive and keeping the record straight when there's misinformation that's brought forward. Also, there was a question on the Zoom security. When you go into executive session, to ensure that it is absolutely secure. That was discussed today. Also, thank you to the many fundraising events that are going on. Kathy Herman, who is doing a fundraiser for frontline personnel for health, Supreme Silkscreen, and other people who are trying to help the families in South Plainfield. Condolences to the Dickerson family on the passing of your son, and to all the families who have felt the devastation of COVID-19. And many parents have lost their jobs. They're not receiving paychecks. So hopefully this will pass quickly. And thank you to all our health people, the police, the workers, the workers at Town Hall, and to all the residents, and to our teachers who have mastered the art of online education. Thank you so much for being there. You never doubted it. You're doing a great job. The kids totally enjoy it. I know some of the students today were sad that they're not going to be in school next week. So again, thank you to all our teachers. Everybody stay healthy and safe out there. Thank you.
Okay. Any other board member comments?
That's me.
Speak up. Mrs. Wallach.
Yes, I just want to say again, great job to everybody. Happy Easter, happy Passover. Stay safe, stay healthy, and hug your family if you can. That's it.
Thank you. Any other board member comments? No? Okay. Seeing none, I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Doug,
Yeah.
we skipped public comments.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so
We did that too.
terribly
Like,
sorry.
what?
Oh, any public comments? Did anybody call in? Do we have any public comments on the website?
No call.
No calls?
Any public out there?
Mike?
Okay. Okay. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Apologize for that. So at this point, we will call for an adjournment to the meeting. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
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 All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. Meeting adjourned. Have a happy
night.
holiday.
Good
night,
night.
everyone.
Happy holiday.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, happy holiday.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye all.
Night.